All right, we have Dicaprio Bootle here, so thanks everyone for jumping on, and we thought this was a good way to um, be efficient with these guys' time to get the five of them that are going to be going through pro day tomorrow together, and let you guys have them all at once. So we'll start with Dicaprio Bootle, and first question, Brian Christopherson.
Hey, DiCaprio. I'm backtracking a little bit, but since we haven't had a chance to talk to you since the season ended, what kind of went in your decision to go forward and pursue operations now, as opposed to coming back one more year?
Um, no, I mean, initially going into the year, even still with COVID starting, I thought it was still going to be my last year anyway. And then the NCAA kind of said like, okay, you guys, we're going to count this year against your eligibility. You'll be able to come back for another year. So, I mean, kind of, I could say kind of like I was halfway preparing um, to leave anyway. There was a big decision making process that went into that. Just because it was rewarded to me. You have the ability to come back. So anytime you have decisions that you have to make, I think it's very important that you sit down, weigh the options, and figure it out. But if there wasn't a COVID year, I wouldn't have been able to come back anyway. So I had already put that in my mental. Um, and it just happened to fall the way that the NCAA gave back the year. So I mean, in the last couple of days here, probably like last two games, in a Huskers jersey, I did a lot of thinking, trying not to think too much to where, I was like over emotional, but just thinking analytical, just using my mind to make the right decision for me, and just looking at it and just looking at all the things that I had done in my career here. I just felt like it was the right move to go ahead and pursue my goals and to chase my dream.
Thanks, DiCaprio.
Journal Star, Steve Sipple.
Hi, DiCaprio. This question comes from a conversation I had with Tony Tuioti, who was talking about the benefits of Nebraska's nutrition program to his guys. He said it's a pretty big advantage for Nebraska. In what ways was the nutrition program, I guess the training table, beneficial to your development?
It's fuel. We got great people down there working in the train table, working real hard to make sure we have everything that we need, and it's basically the fuel that you need to go throughout the day. You wake up in the morning, first thing you gotta do is check in the training table, guys. You know, um, you get in trouble, you don't go to training table because that's the fuel you need, to go throughout the day and just to make yourself better as an athlete. I mean, if you had a sports car, you wouldn't put just regular gas in it. You would put like, supreme fuel in it, and that's kind of what the training table offers. We're elite athletes, and we need elite food too, elite nutrition, all of that. So, we just make sure we put the right fuel in our engines to take us throughout the day.
Is it out of your life now? I mean, you don't have the training table available?
I mean, I haven't been here to utilize the training table, but I poked my head in there just a couple days ago. Still great food, all that. But for me, as far as for me, I don't have a training table available, so I just use what I learned here
Okay.
to take myself forward in that aspect.
Thank you, DiCaprio.
No problem.
Parker Gabriel, Lincoln Journal Star.
Hey, DiCaprio, obviously you only go through the draft prep process one time, but how has it sort of matched your expectations going in? Obviously, it's a different year this year with no combine and sort of limited in-person interaction. So, how have you found your interactions with pro teams so far? How would you categorize them? And I guess just generally speaking, what has this process been like for you the past couple months?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about what you just said is like you said one word um, that really triggered me just now and kind of made my mind work, and that was expectations. Because when I left here and I decided, I was gonna go train, do a combine style training, whether it be combine pro day, combine got canceled this year, whether it be combine pro day, I knew that I would have no expectations. And that's something that, that was just like a kind of a reminder that I wrote down. No expectations, only work. So, I didn't really, it wasn't really different than anything I expected. Every morning I woke up, if there was a task at hand, I did it. If there was a phone call I needed to take, I took it. If there was an interview I needed to have, some type of testing, I did it. And every day was different. No 2 days were the same. Just kept on building and building and building each day. But, I had no expectations throughout this whole thing, only work.
Joe Nugent, WOWT.
Hey, Dicaprio, curious where you want to go in the draft, and also how exciting is it that you're at this part of your journey, ready to take the next step? How cool is all of this?
I don't really have any preferences on where I want to go. I just want to go somewhere that, a team is ready to have a hungry young competitor on their roster, and that's what I'm going to bring to any team. I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to be young. I'm going to be a competitor, and I'm going to compete every day. Compete. Work hard, be a people's person, be personable, be somebody the team can rely on and always be available. But, like this whole process is just, just been so good to me. And, I just understand that, what God is doing for me and working behind the scenes and just working real hard for me. And just, I just leave it all up to him and, just let him do his bidding.
Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Hey, Dicaprio, years ago when you were first recruited by Nebraska, I think you ran the fastest 40-yard dash at a combine camp in Doral City Park that day. I was out there that morning. I still remember that. And when you look at it now, how important is it, again, that you run like that in this process? And what are you anticipating to run? What is your goal as you get ready for the 40-yard dash and some of the testing stuff?
Yeah, it's very important. I like to say that I ran my way into Nebraska, and tomorrow morning I'll run my way into the league very fast, extremely fast.
You don't have a goal though, as far as a number. Have you been kind of practicing? Have you had any times that you've been able to run through your preparation?
Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think very, very fast and extremely fast is?
For a corner, probably in the 4.4s, right?
Lower.
Lower. So you're shooting 4.3s.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Omaha World Herald, Sam McEwen.
Hey, DiCaprio, I want to ask about the guys that are coming back. Obviously, 3 other players, Cam and Deontay and Markel, they decided to return for their senior season. What do you think of that secondary? Going into next year, I know obviously you're focused on your personal goals, but you have a lot of insight into the team as well. What do you think that group's going to be like, and how do you anticipate they'll get better?
Yeah, those guys they'll be the same people that they were, when I left here. Well, now I don't want to say the same. They'll be better than they were. Another year under them, another year under their belt. Just learning from a great coach like Coach Fish. Just being able to continue to get better at their game, chip away at their game. So those guys are, they're grown men at this point. They're seasoned. They know what they need to know. They know what they need to do. And, I got nothing but faith in all those guys.
Where are you training at?
I trained at Exos in Arizona.
Cool. Thank you.
And one more for DiCaprio, Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
Hey, DiCaprio, did you watch last year at Pro Day in Lincoln when the guys a year ahead of you were working out?
I've watched Pro Day every year since I've been here.
Yeah. So the experience last year was, especially unique in just when it happened, what was happening everywhere at that moment. I just wonder how you reflect on that, and if you're able to reflect on this entire journey since that point and the obstacles that have been put in front of you and the guys who are going through this pro day with you tomorrow, and how much work it's been to overcome them, considering where everything was at pro day 1 year ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like 1 year ago at Pro Day, that was kind of like the height of the COVID fiasco, and people were starting to get calls telling them this would be the last stop on their Pro Day, and that they would have to come back to the facilities and they wouldn't be able to go to any other Pro Days. So that's kind of sad thinking that other people didn't get a chance to participate in their Pro Days because of that, and Pro Days were canceled, and just knowing a couple of days later our spring ball was canceled, and I mean it just was kind of like it wasn't scary per se, but it was just a little like it was uncharted territory, just unknowing of what would come. But I'm a firm believer that you take everything one step at a time, that things are gonna fall into place. So I mean, and I've watched Pro Day, like I said, every year since I've been here. Seeing all the guys that's participated in Pro Days, whether they be from Nebraska or the surrounding schools in the area, just watching them come and ultimately just chase their dreams and just put their talents on display and go out there and give it their best effort. So this is always something that I always something that I thought about, and every year I was always excited to watch it. But yeah, now it's finally my turn. I'm here, and I put in the work behind it, and I'm just gonna continue to just have my faith in God and understand that it's God's work, and none of this would be possible without my faith in God.
All right, thank you, Dicaprio, and then we'll be on to one of the offensive guys next.